Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Government needs to ensure that rural communities have constant supply of electricity to reduce dependence on firewood. This is according to some Limpopo residents who gave oral submissions during Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Environment, Fishery and Forestry's public hearings on the National Veld and Forest Fires Amendment Bill at the Thohoyandou Town Hall on Sunday. The Portfolio Committee has been in Limpopo this weekend, hosting similar hearings in Bela-Bela and Lenyenye on Friday and Saturday, respectively.
We're at the Town Hall in Thohoyandou, where Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Environment, Forest and Fisheries is here hosting public hearings on the amendment of the National Veld and Forest Fire Amendment Bill. These hearings have been happening here in Limpopo for the past. This is the third day that the hearings have been happening. They started on Friday in Bela-Bela and moved to Lenyenye yesterday. Today they're wrapping up here at the Thohoyandou Town Hall. To speak more about what these public hearings are focusing on, I'm joined by the Portfolio Committee's chairperson, Ms. Faith Mutambi. Mutambi, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. There's public hearings happening in this hall behind us. What is the purpose of these public hearings? What is Parliament trying to get from community members?
Indeed, we are soliciting comments on the National Veld and Forest Fire Amendment Bill. Whose main purpose is to allow landowners to control and maintain fire breaks. What we are trying to do here is we're trying to enhance this legislation by giving more power to traditional authorities. We want them to also assist us in enforcing this law, and we are doing so by giving them responsibility. Also, again, to enforce the responsibility to landowners to say, once you own land, you must be responsible for the protection of fire around it. So that's what we're actually doing. The other thing, we wanted to enhance the definitions so that we bring all these new definitions like a traditional authority, the traditional leader, and also then extend it to other state organs. Like the other critical issue now that we want to see it happening, it's around municipalities, state-owned organs, also joining Fire Protection Association. With the current act, it was just voluntarily, but now with the new act that we are trying to amend the existing one, we want all the state organs, municipalities, government departments that are affected to be members of the Fire Protection Association. So these are some of the issues that we are trying to amend here.
This is the third province that you are having these public hearings at, and you'll be moving to others after this. What are some of the recurring sentiments in terms of this amendment that people are telling you?
This is the third region in Limpopo, Limpopo being the sixth province we're visiting. All the stakeholders that have participated are very much excited. As Parliament, we have targeted to reach out to 250, but in most of the cases, the number exceeds it by half. You have 500, 450, or more than that. This has shown the interest that people have in this. They all understand that fire can cause harm, fire can be devastative, fire can then cause damage to livestock, vegetation, including your livestock. So they are all in support of this bill. I didn't recall a situation where somebody said we're not in support of this bill. But they are making also some critical inputs, like to say, when you enact this law, bring it with the budget. We want to be trained, we want our people to be trained, we want the municipalities to be able to respond, because as it stands currently, you might have the disaster centers, but they don't have enough equipment. So they are saying they need a legislation that is costed and funded, so that all the good things that we are saying in this bill must be able to be implemented and they get realized.
This is a largely rural province. Inside, I've heard some of the recurring topics that continue is a high reliance on firewood for cooking food and just for household use. Does the bill say anything around that? Will people be able to continue using firewood to cook their food and just to use in their homes?
You know that there are trees that are called protected species, trees that you cannot chop at all because they are called protected species. And we understand also the backlog with the load shedding. But that's the point that we're saying. There are those trees that we regard them as weed. You can still continue to cut them. But those protected ones, that's what this bill will indicate. It will put a list of those trees that are protected species that you are not allowed to cut, like a pine tree. You're not allowed to cut it. So basically that's it. But at the end of the day, because we understand the dynamics and people will still use wood, we like it or not, like you're indicating, this is a rural province. For some of them, they cannot even afford electricity. They use lights for cooking. They know the cost of electricity. They need to have wood to supplement it. But this has happened in the past. We had protected trees in the past, but it's when the problem arises when even then people start to cut those trees that they're not supposed to cut.